Hi, this is Eva for Once Upon a Timeline. Welcome to Midnight Mandela. Welcome, everybody. How are you doing? Looks like everybody has jumped in. We got Austin 108, Renee Cruz. Shari's in early today. Joe Bloor, Pearl the cat. It's Life Matrix's cat. Got it. Very savvy little kitty there. No, it actually is kind of quiet because it's a lot of the same person. Lord Frybraid is in. Yeah, what is that beastie beast? Okay, this one, it's a little bit slow last couple weeks, so I just look at the animals, and so this guy, fire snail from Malaysia, not poisonous. It used to be if something was brightly colored, you go, oh, it's poisonous. You really can't go by that anymore because now, like, everything is brightly colored. One thing interesting about this post was, one thing I've been kind of noticing lately is that there'll just be, like, dozens of the exact same post over and over, like, the exact same comment. And it's like, if you saw 10 people make your comment, would you still make the same comment? I wouldn't. I would just upvote or say, yeah, this, or me too, or so. I wouldn't just say it over and over. So it's kind of weird. I have not really seen that before until the last couple weeks where it's just over and over. So what was weird about this one is there's quite a number of comments that say it's mag cargo. And I'm like, what the hell is mag cargo? Mag cargo is that thing we had on, I don't know, a couple years ago, which is the snail that has metal, like it's made out of, it incorporates metal into its shell. And the thing with mag cargo, I don't remember it being called mag cargo, but everybody on here apparently knows what it is, even though this is just a nature show and not like an all-purpose animal or snail one. I'm not even saying. So my point is everybody's jumping on mag cargo. Mag cargo looks nothing like this. Actually, let me just pull it up. So why does everybody see a snail and go, oh, it's mag cargo? Oh, okay, so mag cargo is a Pokemon. Okay, I got it. All right, I'm getting it now. Because somebody else on here said... All right, I was a little off on this one. Oh, that's interesting that it's a Pokemon, actually, because that's interesting on another. Okay, but there's multiple people also on here that said it is... Where can I find that one? It's that metal shell one. Yeah, this is a mag... See here, this is a mag cargo, scalyfoot. It lives in volcanoes. The shell is made of iron. So that's the one that confused me. So this is the actual one... Scalyfoot gastropod, sea pangolin, or volcano snail. I've not heard it called sea pangolin before. So, volcano snail. Okay, so I guess mag cargo, they're calling that volcano snail. I'm starting to wonder, is every last Pokemon going to be coming to life? I should actually go in there and see which Pokemons don't have an animal associated with it. And then we should assume that it is coming. Okay, but, so, yeah, multiple people, though, said it's this volcano creature, this volcano snail. I think that was a volcano snail, blah, blah, blah. But it's not. It doesn't look anything like it. So, I don't know. Does everybody just see a weird snail and immediately go, it must be that one with metal? So, this is fire snail, Platyma tweedii. And if you go to the wiki... Of course, there's almost nothing. Most posts on this thing are recent. There's a few going back 2-3 years, but we know the Mandela is a little retroactive. Look at the length of this wiki. I really feel like I might have caught this one very early. There's no images of it. Often called the Malaysian fire snail, is the largest land snail in peninsular Malaysia, living exclusively in mountain forests there. It's characterized by black shell and orange or bright red foot. Although not officially endangered, the species is threatened by a combination of habitat loss and poachers. Attractive to keep as a pet. Okay, so that's about it, basically. What's weird also is that when I was searching this out, I find a lot on people keeping it as pets, how to keep it as pets. Apparently it's a little bit difficult, but people have successfully bred it, and we're going on multiple generations now. But then you hear conflicting things. Some people are saying that it's extinct in the wild. That wiki says it's endangered only. Some people said it hasn't been successfully bred, but then experts said it was successfully bred. So there's like 100 stories, and the wiki's like 5 sentences long. So I don't know, but I just kind of feel like this one's new. You be the judge, I guess. But yeah, they're not poisonous. So apparently, if you can give them their exact habitat with the exact humidity and coldness level, then they'll be fine. It's just you've got to really maintain that. So it's kind of interesting because they like it cold, like really cold. Shari's suffering from autocorrect. Yeah, see, that's another thing, Art Generica. A lot of people from Malaysia said they never heard of it before. There's all kinds of interesting critters suddenly showing up from Malaysia that no Malaysians have ever heard of before. You're actually not the first one. Let me just look at this mag cargo thing and see what it looks like. So it's a red you know, it does look like mag cargo, doesn't it? Except for that one. And this is literally a fire snail. We're totally gonna have to, whoever is in, like, knows Pokemon, what Pokemon doesn't have a creature associated with it? Because I have a sneaking suspicion that they all will eventually. Okay, so this one kind of shocked me a bit. It might be a little bit dry, but I feel like my brain's a little spaced out today. So, those of you in America probably, hopefully, maybe remember all the talk about if China invades Taiwan. If China invades Taiwan, then we're going to go have to protect Taiwan. And the reason why was always because we had a treaty with Taiwan to protect them. That was always the story, like always. But then a couple days ago, I see this thing from Biden that says, like, very kind of to the contrary, like, we're not responsible for Taiwan or something. I don't remember the exact thing. I was like, what? Did Biden change the policy? I thought we had a treaty with Taiwan. I mean, it was always a thing. And so I look it up because I looked in the comments section and there's people saying, but we have a treaty with Taiwan. And then there's other people saying, you're an idiot. No, we don't. And I'm like, what? So I look it up. We don't have a treaty with Taiwan. I swear we did. It was always a thing. But now you're an idiot if you think that, apparently. You're an idiot. So we don't. And apparently we haven't since, like, I was, like, what, 79 or something? And I don't even know if we had one before 79, but this has been, the current situation has been since 79, that our official stance is kind of more like neutral ambiguity, and leaning more towards China, and that we had, I was reading, we had an official one China policy like America did, is one of the things they're saying. So we don't have a treaty with Taiwan now, but we have this thing called TRA, Taiwan Relations Act. And this thing makes no sense to me either. The TRA is intended to maintain commercial, cultural, and other relations through the unofficial relations in the form of a non-profit corporation incorporated under the laws of the District of Columbia, the American Institute in Taiwan. So apparently we created a corporation called the AIT that is not the government, but I'm like, well, who's running it then? It's I don't even get like who's doing it if it's not the government. Without official government representation, without formal diplomatic relations, the act entered retroactively into force effectively January 1, 1979. So the TRA is it's like an act that, like, what does it even do? I don't know. The act does not recognize the terminology Republic of China, but uses the terminology governing authorities on Taiwan. It defines the term Taiwan to include as a context the island of Taiwan, other islands, blah, blah, blah. So what? That's just kind of vague thing. The act authorizes de facto diplomatic relations with governing authorities by giving special powers to the AIT, which is a corporation, to the level that it is the de facto embassy, and states that any international agreements made between the ROC, which is China, I believe. No, that's Taiwan, and the US before 1979 are still valid unless otherwise terminated. One agreement that was unilaterally terminated by President Jimmy Carter upon the establishment of the PRC was the Sino-American Mutual Defense Treaty. So basically, Jimmy Carter apparently terminated this treaty that sounds like it would have protected Taiwan. I didn't even look into it because basically it doesn't matter if it did or not. My attitude is that we used to have a treaty like last year, not in 1979. The TRA does not guarantee the U.S. will intervene militarily if the PRC attacks or invades Taiwan, nor does it relinquish it. So we could do what we want, basically. We could either defend or not. We have no responsibility to do so. The primary purpose is to ensure the U.S.'s Taiwan policy will not be changed unilaterally by the president, and ensure any decision to defend Taiwan will be made with the consent of Congress. Okay, so I don't know what's going on, but basically we don't have to protect Taiwan anymore. I mean, I don't know if that's good, that's bad. I mean, I could see it maybe averting World War III. I don't know, but it seems like a huge change to me. Some people had trouble uploading. YouTube's being strange. Was Taiwan always an island? Like, we had that on before. A lot of people are not sure on that. I can't say for sure on that one. Hong Kong was... Yeah, I thought Hong Kong was an island, actually, and now it's part of the mainland. That's one actually freaks me out the most. I thought Hong Kong was an island. We have the events from The Simpsons and the animals from Pokemon. Yeah, who wrote The Simpsons? I mean, maybe they were getting divine messages from the universe. You have to wonder about that. All right, I'm going to change it to live chat now. Live chat. There we go. So I don't know, but I just kind of like, that's been a big thing because a lot of people are like, oh, what if China, for like a couple of years now, people are like, what if China invades Taiwan and then we have to protect Taiwan, it'll be World War III. Well, now we don't have to protect Taiwan. So I don't know. I don't know. It's just bizarre to me. Okay. Get rid of that one. Let's see. So, other stuff I looked up on that. Apparently now we have, since 1979, we have supported strategic ambiguity. That keeps coming up. U.S. policy has been one China since Nixon. 1971, Taiwan lost its UN seat due to Nixon's desire to trade with China. And the U.S. does not officially support Taiwan independence, according to Biden. That's the one that showed up recently. But from what I look historically, that has been the case for decades now. Decades. So, I don't know. Hopefully it means we won't get World War III. Okay, so now this one, I've talked before about like how they're saying now that if you take human brain cells and grow them in a petri dish, they will ball into these organoids that have their own kind of specialized brain function and coordinated brain waves and stuff, and they were able to keep them alive longer and longer. So now this one is actually pretty recent, but it's, like 2 months ago. They are growing a bunch of these things, and it seemed like it was hard to keep them alive like 5 minutes ago, but now they can grow them, and they're putting them on silicon chips and like integrating them with the electronics, and they're little human brains with like little, all full of, let's say 1,100 million nerve cells. They are, it takes 2 to 3 months to grow the organoids, which are a few millimeters wide. For Americans, that's about, let's see, yeah, like that wide. So how much is a millimeter? It's like, what, 1/4 of an inch or something? Maybe a little bit more. The organoids are then placed on top of a micro-electrode array, which is used both to send electrical signals to the organoid and to detect when nerve cells fire in response. The team calls it System Brain Aware. They've used it to try to solve equations, and they've used it... I should actually click on this and see what happens. Solve mathematical equations. That's from almost a year ago. I think that's the one we had on before. All right. So one thing they were able to do was they were able to teach it to recognize individual voices. And that's not that weird because I think AI can already do that, but just the rate that they're progressing on this, that they're not talking about the difficulty of keeping the organoids alive. How are they attaching them onto the electrical system so easily if, they had to keep them in a petri dish and stuff before. So I don't know. It's like they're glossing over a lot, but it just seems like two months later, they've made like 5 years of progress. So it's kind of creepy. So found some other cute little creatures. Gonna put those on. Like I said, it's been a slow Mandela. It's been a slow week for like official Mandelas. This thing is so cute though. Tufted puffin. How can there be so many animals I've never even seen before that are so awesome? Look at that thing. It doesn't even look real. It looks like the AI made it. Super cute. Why are all these things showing up and they just happen to be the kind of thing that humans think are awesome? That's what makes me think we have to be behind a bunch of this stuff, because it just happens to be what we think is awesome. A millimeter. Oh. A lot of time. Oh, here. 2 mil. Yeah, okay, so it's like that big. 2 millimeters. I'm looking at my... Wars are never fought for the reasons they tell us. I do agree with that, but I have not in the past had, like, all of history suddenly just change. So, like, they tell us we need to go protect some poor innocent people in some country, therefore we have to go to war, right? But then worse atrocities happen to 3 other countries and their people, but there's not a peep in the news about those people. But over here, we've got to immediately invade and send like $1 bajillion. So yeah, I don't think it's just because some poor people are suffering, because other people were suffering more. And then they don't want to talk about, I mean, it's not what you say. Yeah, I mean, it's not what they say, but... But if you look in the old, what we're seeing is if you have books and stuff, this stuff will change in the books. So I still think it is a Mandela kind of thing. So the toucan was extinct for you. That's interesting. I don't think it was for me, but I can't say I used to see it in TV all the time, and I did not... But it was like cartoon versions, right? And I'm trying to think if I ever saw it in live version. But I don't remember ever hearing it was extinct either, so. And it has been around for like 20 years for me. Because I do remember seeing them. That they used to have all just the one color beak. And they didn't have all the weird colors on them that they now have. Let's see. And I think I've had them on... recently because of all the like they didn't have that black spot on the end of their, so it used to just be that they would have this big orange beak, no black spot. I don't remember that white business either, actually. I don't know what's going on with this green thing. Is that real or AI? I'm not even sure. Okay, yeah, see, now they've got all these different colors. I don't remember all that. There was just this guy, and it had the orange beak, and that was it. It's even got lines, like it's got teeth. I don't think these were here last time I looked either. They're like M&Ms they're like hundreds of different kinds of colors, all like different colored M&Ms in a box now. It's like, it's the same creature, but... You got 15 color variations and like one for everybody. They just happen to be interesting to human style. Look at that. That looks so fake. I mean, if you told me an AI made it, I'd be like, yep. So yeah, I am not sure if they were extinct. I know we had this plain version for a really long time without the black spot. And that was it. That's all you ever saw. I mean, why would you see that plain version hundreds and hundreds of times and nobody ever showed the prettier versions? It's not logical. So many species of wolves. Yeah, I was just saying there's so many species of jaguars. Like there was like an Amer jaguar and all these weird ones. But I think we've had those on before, so that's why I skipped it. Okay, how many puffins? I know there used to be only one kind of... All kinds of stuff. Okay. Puffin. Okay. Puffins are any of 3 species of small alcids. So there's 3 species, and within that species there's probably a lot of creatures. These are pelagic seabirds. Puffin. Let's just see. So there's Atlantic puffin. I think it's either something with this mouth or it just has fish in it. Yeah, okay, it just has a bunch of fish in its mouth. That was pretty bizarre looking, though. Watch, next time we'll come and it'll be danglies off the beach and not off the beak and not fishes, because that is the sneaky business. Tufted puffin in Seattle, Washington. So they have puffers in Seattle, Washington now? That's the... Look at that beak. That's so weird. So that must be the new thing where they have this weird eyebrow feathers. Horn puffin, tufted puffin, Dow's puffin. That's from California now, is it? Dow's puffin. It's from the Channel Islands. Those are those effing islands that didn't really exist before. Most of them. Dow's puffin. So that's our creature, huh? Dow. What? No photo. Slobs. Isn't... Oh! Extinct seabird in the Auk family. Described in 2000. Okay. I will forgive them. I still say that the Channel Islands weren't there, but, okay, late Pleistocene. I wonder if we'll get that back, though. Alright, so we have 3 kinds, I think, now. And that, look at that thing. That is the creature I just looked at, I think. Crazy. Okay, so California's thinking about getting a puffin, but let me just look and see if there's a California puffin. That wiki made it sound like there's more than 3 kinds. The tufted puffin. Ranges over the North Pacific Ocean from the waters of Japan to California from the icy. So we do have the tufted puffin, I think, at least in the north. The largest puffin, the tufted puffin, can weigh more than 1.5 pounds, which is twice the weight of Atlantic puffin. Can be found breeding along the Pacific coast from the northern California to Alaska. Okay, so we do have a puffin now. Where in my used to live area up north. Can't wait for the purple-footed western midget wolf to show up in some remote forest. I know. You know, I mean, like, I really feel like in 5-10 years, look what we've got already. If this keeps up, I mean, like, are we going to just keep getting crazier and crazier? Or are we going to come to kind of a stabilization point and it'll slow down? I don't know. I kind of feel like it's hard to imagine it stopping at this point. I was in the middle of the changes in the 90s in Europe, and unlike now, they were giving almost exact news to people. Yeah, they had a little bit of spin, and I'm sure they left stuff out, but it wasn't, like, ridiculous like it is now. Like, they didn't used to yank stuff out of context and then have a completely false tagline title, and then you read it, it's not even related to the title, and, you know, and like was it a couple years there, like, oh, this guy said he hates blacks, and then it turns out it was a typo, and he said he hated getting flack, but then it looked like a B, or, you know, like he would say something that was just obviously an accident and not meant that way at all, and they're, oh, that's proof that he's racist, or all kind of crazy stuff like that. It's just like, no, it's not. It looks like an old man with a mullet. I've heard mullets are back in style, so hey. So, you know, Ukraine, that whole area has changed a lot. Kazakhstan kind of grew from, like, nothing to massive. So Moneybags was in the Brian Stavely chat, and someone called him 76 and not 73, and he responded. Yeah, well, no, he's talked about that before, because Somebody noticed that on Retconned. I can't take credit for it. Somebody said, wait, didn't he used to be 76? And I'm like, he's not 76? So I actually went over to his comments and said, hey, didn't you used to be 76 and not 73? And then he was just like, no. And he just totally blew it off, like maybe he thought I was nuts, right? But then later, sometime later, somebody made a big video on name changes in the community, and that was him. And then a lot of people chimed in saying, yeah, I used to be 76. So at that point, he started taking it more seriously and goes, okay, well, I guess. Now, he has said that he has no memory of it ever being 76, and 73 has a specific meaning. Now, I remember 76 having a different meaning. Like, he had a reason he picked 76, but it's not the same reason that he's using now for why it's 73. So, unfortunately, I can't really... It was some date that was special to him, and now it's some other date that was special to him. So it's kind of funny because people get on and go, oh no, it has to have always been 73 because I picked it for blah, blah reason. I'm like, you could have had a different reason in another timeline. It's not like reasons don't change across timelines. So anyways, he has no recollection of the 76. And he's definitely, he was more straight-laced and straight shooter and more kind of a normie conventional guy when he was 76 for me. And now he's a little bit more like a wingnut style, like I've become. So it's not like I'm saying that it's, I'm not saying that meanly or anything. But he always has been a little bit more of a wingnut in this 73 version. The old him didn't know very much about the paranormal until he got smacked with the Mandela. In fact, I would hazard to guess that the old him knew nothing about the paranormal. From the way he talked, because he always, it was always new to him. And then he studied the Mandela really hard, but he did not show knowledge of any of the other esoteric stuff. And now he very much does. Even in his old videos, he's clearly has knowledge going way back from before the Mandela. I'm waiting for koalas to jump into our reality. California. I don't know what we're getting. We'll probably get our own new stuff. But I am wondering if the drop bears will show up, because drop bears are like this joke creature that supposedly doesn't exist, which are the Australians make this joke that koalas will jump down onto your head from up in the trees and attack. Right now they don't, from at least not currently, and supposedly the drop bears are dangerous and stuff. So it's kind of weird for me, because the whole concept of drop bears, I had never heard of it until about 5 years ago, and then it was everywhere. So I'm not really sure if that was in my timeline or not, this drop bears joke. And just like Australia now has birds that'll poke you in the eye, like they'll just fly and attack you. That wasn't a thing for me either. The news anchors and newspapers were held accountable for what they published. Yeah, but more so, people, even if people really disagreed with you, they would still admit when you had a point. You'd say, look, that guy didn't really said that, he said that. And they'll be like, well, okay. And then maybe they'll just change it. Yeah, but, this guy over here, whatever. But they would admit it. They wouldn't sit there and say, ridiculous stuff. People were more reasonable. On both sides, both sides have just lost their, I don't know, what is it? Their common sense compass is just no longer functioning or something. As of this week, people are saying that we are making the Schumann residents do the weird readings. Really? How are they saying we're doing it, though? What? Wars or what? Time traveling power of the human heart. Yeah, okay. I thought 76 was his birth year. Okay. It could be. I really actually had a different memory, though. It was some kind of weird thing. It was stuff I didn't really know about. I think it was some kind of financial thing or something. Maybe it was different in different realities. I don't know how. He does look a little different. He's got the different eye color now. He used to have the brown eyes. So, who the heck knows? The human with the DNA sequences was so bizarre. I don't even know what that is. Oh, Shari. Oh my God. I did see the jellyfish you have. I just saw that like 2 days ago. Oh my God. Yes, I did. Okay, so people who don't know what I'm talking about. All right. This confused me because I'm like, I was wondering, am I missing? Am I just so far out of the UFO community that I don't know like huge things like that? Because supposedly the footage, I got the impression the footage was old and it was released by the military a while ago. And yet I just heard of it like 2 days ago. When did that footage get released? Am I like wrong on when it was released? Because I feel like it was a military video released by the military. Okay, I'm gonna have to dig this thing up. And it is the weirdest effing thing. Jellyfish. It's so weird that we're calling it UAP. Somehow we all got to UAP instead of okay, jellyfish sighted in Iraq was ghost story at base. Okay. Jellyfish UFO in Iraq haunted U.S. airbase for years. All right, well, maybe I'm not crazy. See, okay, so here's the thing. When I watched the video 2 days ago, I think what he said was that this was released a while ago and somehow nobody knew about it. And that's why I was like, Mandela, ding, 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 ding. It sounds like it because this thing is crazy. It is crazy. All right, let me see if I can find.
We have the picture of this shit.
All right. I want to see if they say they have the picture of it. You really got to see it moving. I don't see it in here. That is not useful. Oh, maybe if I look on the right side here.
We have the picture of this.
Here.
Joining us to talk more about the latest UFO revelation.
Alright, first of all, we don't need to hear the yapping. Okay, it does look like it was recently released. Okay, let's see. That is not really it. This video is terrible. This is the crappiest video. So I saw a really clear, nice image of it the other day. But maybe the one I saw was the chandelier one. Oh, no, come on. I saw a beautiful clear one like 2 days ago. All right, let's try this one then. All right, so this is the thing. This was released by the military. See, 2018. Although, ironically, this is still a really crappy video compared to what I saw with the other day. You know what? This is oh my God, I swear, this is like a different video. All right, unless this is jellyfish and I was looking at chandelier, I'm not sure because there was one that had more craggy feet or something. It was similar to this, but more craggy. You can see why they call it a jellyfish. So I don't know, is this like some kind of... Is it some kind of projection and it's not really there? Is it from, you know, an AI fabrication that the military released to confuse us? Or is it from another dimension? Or is it an experiment to see how we'll respond? I don't know. But now we've got this whole story that they saw this for years and years and years. I don't really know what to make of any of this stuff. Okay, Shari, let's see what Shari found. I'm going to go ahead and yap about this because nothing's going on. Polaris now 3 to 5 stars. Okay. Polaris. Didn't we have that on before? Wait, let me go to this one first. Oh, that is weird. Oh my gosh, look at that. It looks like a tapestry. I have not seen anything like that on the Schumann. Nothing like that. That is bizarre with all these. Wow. So usually it just looks kind of like a smear of different blight and... Oh, look at that. So yeah, here is normal. That is bizarre. When did that happen? A couple days ago? Wait. On June 20, 2023? That's over a year. That's like almost a year ago. I've not heard of this, and that happened like a year ago. Strange. So was it always there? You know, it just makes me crazy because I don't know. You can't know everything when it did happen, but yet there's all these weird stuff shows up, and then they're like, yeah, that happened a year ago. I'm like, what? So this week hasn't been that weird for me. I swear time is like weirdly elastic though, because I'll do something and I swear 3 seconds passed and it'll be like 3 minutes. Like just like all I did was take this and move it to here and it's 3 minutes has passed. I mean, it's just, I don't know. So, you know, in the old days I'd say like, well, maybe there was just a error in the machinery reading or something. But these days, yeah, who the heck knows? Time is going so fast. I do agree with you. Just when you get used to the time speeding up, it speeds up more. Let's see if we can get this one to load. Oh, this is a much better. This is the one I saw. Yes, this is the one I saw. Although they had it in color. What the heck is that? What is it? Weird that it's black and white. I swear I saw it in color the other day. Wait, what is all this? Dogs or something? What is going on behind there? What is that? I want to go back and look at all the stuff behind it now. Because if that's a dog, it looks like the front is way higher. Is it monkeys? What the heck is behind it? Okay. I've seen it enough now that I want to know what other things are going on in this video. Okay, that's people. It does look like monkeys. Look at that thing, though. What is that? Okay, so it kind of looks like some weird floaty junk, right? So if it just happened once, I think I could kind of palm it off as, I don't know, some kind of drone. Maybe that's another option, though. It could be some kind of weird drone in there. Some kind of balloon-operated drone. You would think that the military would, like, shoot it down, though, if there was a drone flying over the base repeatedly. It doesn't really make sense that they didn't blast that sucker. The other thing is it looks like it's quite translucent, so if there was a drone in there, it should be opaque. So the video I saw, it would kind of morph into lighter and darker, but I'm not sure if it was because it was, see how light it gets there? So I don't know if it was because they were doing some kind of UV or what. Okay, now let's see what this is, because I do not know. So looks like they're targeting it. They shoot now. They've got the base behind it, but they could, you know, they could clear out people and shoot at it, or shoot at it from a different angle, whatever. Huh, that looks like a different one now. Okay, so anyway, that showed up shortly after the aliens from Miami. Trying to get rid of... I don't know why whenever I leave and I come back now, that screen is up. Flying lint. So yeah, the story from what I was glancing through was saying that they would see this repeatedly over and over. So it's not just some kind of weird foam escape from the washing machine plant down the street or something. It makes sense. It's normal that we can affect Schumann resonance. I do think we're all tied. So yeah, I think we're probably one of the most powerful creator forces on the earth right now. So just power of imagination and stuff. So I'm sure that I am not surprised at all that we would create that. So like whenever these things happen though, I'm like, is this have some deep meaning that we just don't know? Or is it just to kind of keep us entertained, you know? All right, let's see. Did we see this one yet? Okay, so the thing with those is that they have like battery operated remote control ones. So somebody just off the screen could be just turning it on and off basically. So that's the thing with those. It's talking about that light bulb one. And see how big that light bulb is? That's not like your ordinary, boring $1 light bulb from the store. It's got that huge base on it. That's where like the LED and the remote control and stuff is. I kind of know about these because since I sell lamps, I've looked a lot into the different options. You can see stuff through it. It looks like sometimes you can, but sometimes it's dark. So I'm not sure if it's because they're taking like infrared readings or some kind of, heat readings or what's going on. But it does look like it changes its color or whatever radiation output over time. Shari thinks it's a psyop. I don't even know anymore, because once you start questioning the nature of reality itself, then do we even know if half of the earth is even real? Maybe it's all just a movie for us to play in. So then it's all, even the people doing the psyop might be fake and not really existence. So there's so many levels where I'm always questioning, does half of this, do we see an image of the Pentagon on TV? It's kind of like that old when if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to know about it, does it still make a sound? It's a very old Buddhist thing where you're supposed to meditate on it. And I think that they're trying to talk about the nature of reality. Does it exist outside of the observer? If you're not there to observe it, is it still there? And of course, historically be like, of course it is. But now I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if it's still there. So let's say it's a psyop. Okay, so let's just say that there's a government agencies and they're fooling us for whatever reason, to distract us, to control us, whatever. Okay, so they release these videos, and they're releasing supposed information to Congress, and suddenly it's all this information points to aliens being real, interdimensional aliens. Okay, so some people like you will say, I think it's a psyop, but a bunch of people are going to go, oh, it's disclosure, they're real. And there's a bunch of people who weren't sure if they're real who now go, oh, okay, they're real. So we now have way more people thinking they're real. So if thoughts create reality and a bunch of people think it's real, even if it starts as a psyop, does it open the door for the real thing? That's another question I have. A few years ago, I read the chat afterward, and Shari never showed up. But on the screen behind Eva, could read her comments. I don't know on that one. They claim we have DNA from 23 different species from around the universe. Who does, though? Who claims that? I don't know. There's like thousands of claims, so I don't know. Babies have too much energy anyway. We should tap them for their power. Babies are more clever now. I agree with that. It's kind of interesting because everybody wants to think their baby is more clever and more amazing, but maybe it's true. Like every generation, they are. Like, I swear they're stronger now. The grip force on those babies, it's like insane. And the physical ability, I mean, you're seeing babies like crawling up rock walls, and some of them weren't even trained. They're just like little crazy monkey babies now. Yeah, the reality does. The thing is, it's not just reality isn't just a crazy movie script. It's an implausible script. I mean, if somebody wrote the script and trotted it out to Hollywood, they say, no, that is too ridiculous. Nobody's going to believe that. That's the thing. It used to be a believable movie script. Now it's just ridiculous. It's like somebody wrote a script and they were like high on meth. Don't believe NASA, no outer space. I don't know what there is. I don't believe them blindly, but I don't think I know the answer either. Is there outer, if it's all just like a movie, then, what is there, is the Earth flat or round on a movie? It's whatever the writers decide it is. So it's even a moot question. I've seen a lot of videos of babies lifting their heads, smiling, laughing, trying to stand. They're really young. Yeah, really young. So not many people remember this, but for me, long ago, babies were not born with their eyes open. They were born with them closed. And then they would open after, I think it was 2 weeks or something. And that is not the case at all now. Also, I think, last I checked, don't babies have some weird eye color when they first are born and then it changes? It's kind of like... I'm going to look at that one again. Human baby. Human newborn eye color. Because they didn't used to have some weird eye color for me. Oh, weird. Okay. So for a while, I was in a timeline where the babies would have blue eyes when they came out. And then they would darken up to be whatever they were supposed to be. Because it's kind of like what they're saying here. They were saying that the melanin had not come into the eyes yet completely. But it would be 3 days and then they would start darkening to whatever they're going to be. But now apparently that's only partially true. Their basic eye color should be evident by 9 months old. However, eye color can continue to shift until around age 6. In newborns, the pigmentation process of the iris isn't yet complete. Babies with darker skin are usually born with dark eyes that stay relatively dark. Iris color in lighter skinned babies is usually blue or bluish gray color at birth, then changes as they grow. Permanent eye color is not set until a baby is at least 9 months old. Alright, so, I don't know, it seemed like it was more of a case last I checked that they had the light eyes. Babies were born with blue eyes and changed in the last 3 months. Okay, good. Good, I'm not the only one. Alright, so the story now is that if you are like a brown-eyed child, you're probably born with your brown eyes. But if you're a light-eyed child, then they'll be lighter and then darken, I guess. That's the impression I just got from that article. Okay, so first they would born with eyes closed was what I remember. And that's why that 2001 A Space Odyssey, at the end, there's a scene where a baby is in like a womb with his eyes open. And that was what was so special about that, was that the eyes were open because they were they were open eyes in the womb. Whoa! And it was a big old hairy ass deal, you know, like a giant evolution. And it kind of freaks me out that that was a big evolutionary thing. And now it's like, meh, that's already happening. Okay, so, and then when they opened their eyes, they had crappy vision, but they had their eye color. Their eye color was when they popped open your eyes, that's your eye color. There was no eye color changing. Color is your color. And then later, like in recent years, they said that you would be born with that like weird blue-gray eyes, and then it would start to darken up after like 3 days. Babies are born with blue eyes from what I know. Yeah, so logical danger. That's how it was like last year. So apparently now they're saying brown eyes will be born brown eyes, but light eyes will be lighter. So yeah, it keeps changing. And like cats do that now too. They're born with... That never used to be a thing for me. The eye color didn't change. It was... And that was a big thing. It never changed. It didn't change when you get older. It didn't change when you got sick. Your eye color was your eye color. They would say that you would look different if you had different lighting and stuff. But the actual color in there did not used to change. And then it was, it could change a little bit. And then it's... Yeah, now, I don't know. Pretty soon it'll be flashing rainbows across your eyeballs when you're excited or something. Newborn babies used to just lie there not doing anything. Now they're smiling, laughing. Only a few days old was lifting its head. Yeah, I've had that one on. That they're just doing a lot more. They, like you said, they didn't used to be able to lift their head and stuff for a while. Okay, Shari remembers babies born with blue eyes change the first 3 months. They're so cute when they belong to somebody else. I know. I just don't have enough maternal instinct in me. I have enough of maternal instinct to have like a dog, but not a whole human baby. They're just too much work. Yeah, I don't know. I've definitely heard the story that we're like a weird conglomeration of DNA meddling. I don't know. I mean, what information do we have for that? What evidence? It's just another theory. I mean, I'm not against it. I don't know. Doctors used to look into your eyes so they could see if you were sick or not. I think they weren't looking at your eye color though. They were looking back into the retina to make sure that there wasn't any damage, and they were looking for that kind of thing. Eye damage, but I mean, who knows now? Alright, I'm going to save some of these because they're kind of interesting. Got you. Ah, see, I've already yapped for a whole hour. Alright, so we got puffins. There's just a bunch of weird animals on, so this guy was on. I don't think I've had this one on before. This one looks like fake. I swear the AIs made these things. So this is a mantis. Look at those. Who made those fake eyes? It's like a little kid made that or something. That doesn't even... I swear. Does that even look real at all? And it can fly apparently. Since when did they fly even? I don't think they flew before because I think it was harder to fly back then. They were too fat and ungainly, and the wings that they would need to get off the ground would not have been feasible. I don't think we had anything like this anyway, but now, like I've said before, when I watch birds fly, they used to flap the entire time. Like all the little brown birds and stuff, they would fly the whole time. But now they're like, voop. They're only flapping like half, and then they kind of flap and they shoot a little bit. And it's not a constant flap anymore. It's just the ability to stay aloft has improved. The spiny flower mantis is a fairly calm and quiet insect. But if it is in danger, it will open its wings, on which a pattern of imitating eyes is depicted, and thereby scare away the enemy. Sure. This one here, this bat-eared fox, this one I almost used it for the thumbnail. I possibly maybe should have saved it for next week's thumbnail, but... So they have this thing called bat-eared fox. It's not a fennec fox. First we only had the fennec fox with the big ears, but now they've got... They look more like rabbit ears to me. Why is this called a bat-eared fox? I don't know. It doesn't look like a fox at all to me, but there you go. We have a bat-eared fox. Does that mean all the bat ears are going to look like this thing? Or does that mean this thing is going to change to have creepy, rubbery bat ears? There's a question for you. So I guess we got the fennec fox first with their giant ears. So now we can have... What the heck is that? Bush dog. Bush dog. Have we had those on before? Bush dog. Not very helpful. Let's just look at fennec and see what they're... I have not looked at those. You know, I have not seen fennec fox. For a while, they were making the rounds all the time on Reddit, and I haven't seen one in like a year. The only thing I'd say is they look a lot lighter than the last time I looked. They were very orange, fox colored. They look like they've gotten washed out. They're going to turn white like this one. Look at how light they are. They used to be red. Like this is a little bit better of a look because they were really more red like this. Looks like they've got the mute gene. You know when a cat is got like the light muted colors and there's a gene in there that's supposed to mute out the expression of the melanin. Look at how light they are. Wow. Okay, so ears. Almost want to say they look a little bit smaller than last time I looked, because they had gotten insanely huge last time I looked at the ears. It's almost like it's dialed back a little bit. Not a lot. That one's still got pretty big ears, but... You know, I think what they were before, they were taller, but not as wide as this. It looks like they got wider. Yeah, that's what it is. These ears are not wider apart, but the individual ears are just more horizontal width and maybe a little less vertical width. That's my feeling on those. It just occurred to me I should check them because I haven't seen them in a while. Painted back was new. I saw that on iMac. Let's see, painted bat. I've kind of given up on the bats. There's so many crazy ones. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. It's like cow. I haven't seen that one. Okay. I almost thought that was see-through for a minute. I think it's just black with some white, but it just occurred to me we could get like a see-through bat. We haven't had the see-through mammals yet, have we? We've gotten like very large fish, we've had jellyfish, but if all of those can have see-through flesh, then why can't mammals be translucent? I think that might be what'll be next on the list is translucent mammals. The tiny Honduran white bat. Now this is interesting. I believe I've had these white bats on, but they didn't have, these look like they have green ears, and I don't think they had green ears last time I looked at them. Now I'm going to have to check. They were just white. Can we have more than one image? Oh, yeah. Okay, so they were white. Now they apparently have green ears. They look like little pigs or something. Green ears. Interesting. So it looks like we might be branching into a little bit of color with these bats now. That's one thing we haven't seen is like, you know, blue or purple or something all over the bats. Brown bats hang from rafters. This is interesting because it looks like there's a white patterning that goes along the edges here. You could almost write it off as some kind of a lighting factor, but all of them have it even down here. So it looks like they're getting white lines. Okay, so yeah, little piggies. None of those look real. This is insanity. What was the weird dolphin? They had the pink water dolphin. Is that the one you're talking about? Foxes don't make good pets because they pee everywhere. I think we're going to see that slowly fades out. Because the story has been... It used to be they didn't make good pets because they would bite you to death and freak out. And now, well, they're hard to potty train. But I think that we're going to hear the story over time that they're not as difficult. Give it another couple years. Colored bats is not rational for night camouflage. None of these colors are, so they just... First they used to say... Remember how the storyline is shifted. They used to say they're brightly colored to warn you that they're poisonous. Like, don't touch me. But then we shifted to, this is to attract mates. Like, why would a mate be attracted by your stupidity? You know, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, wouldn't you be more attracted if something was fit and survival worthy? And no, it's like neon orange. You know, like, why would they like that? But now they're getting lazy about it. They're like, just colored because they're colored. We don't need an excuse anymore. They will grow tiny bells and will have dingbats. Let's see. Do we have any brightly colored bats? Who knows what's out there? Newly discovered bat species has Halloween colors. So what is it? It's orange. Oh, black and orange. Ah, speaking of the lines along the wings, there we go. That might be the new thing. Bats of a different color. Red, silver, frosty. Excuse me. Silver. No, we don't really have much color yet. So when that shows up... Oh, it's only 1:20. I'm getting sleepy. Nope, not yet. It's not here yet. Dolphins have thumbs. Come on now. All right. Well, when the birds started getting claws and the spiders started getting claws. Dolphins have thumbs. Extremely rare dolphin with thumbs. Incredible dolphin with... Okay, so we only have one dolphin with thumbs. All right, so we only have one, it looks like. So it's a weird shaped fin, looks like. Still, I wouldn't be surprised if more showed up like that. Weird shaped fins. It won't be that one, but I will hazard a guess that we will see more weird shaped fins. It kind of looks like a can opener, doesn't it? It opens tuna cans. That's it. Chicken of the sea. It's the exact shape, isn't it? They're going to say, oh, it's using it to climb or some weird baloney. Who knows? There'll be some weird story for these. So what I don't get is if there's really just one of these, then wouldn't they just write it off and going, oh, he has a mutation? Spotting a dolphin with oddly deformed flippers that resemble human hands. I don't see how that resembles human hands. It looks like a can opener. I don't see how it looks like human hands. Is it going to look like human hands later? I don't see anything that looks like human hands. The dolphin was swimming, leaping, and playing normally despite the thumbs. It has no trouble keeping up. Probably stems from rare and irregular genes or from inbreeding. Live Science noted that cetaceans or marine mammals naturally have phalanges. These finger bones are typically concealed by the tissue of their flippers. So basically the webbing was not complete between the phalanges. I do remember that they would have the bones of the hands like inside the fin. It's kind of interesting though, because my feeling is, okay, so they found one dolphin that had mutated flippers. It's not that big a deal. Unless it's going to become more common. I can totally see a tiny claw appearing on the tip of that thumb. Yeah, that would be interesting. Claws on everything. And then more claws will appear and we'll be told they were always there. Of course. Alright, so where am I here? I'm going to go back to that jellyfish stuff. Jellyfish U app. What is going on? Alright, that's done. That one's done. Oh, this one was interesting. I definitely want to cover this one. Oh, and that one. Ah, there was actually a lot I found. Okay, this is a weird one because I can't figure out what's going on. Is this like fake? Maybe this is a fake video. Okay, so they're saying that this is it doesn't look fake though. I mean, so supposedly the story is they found this large snake at the construction site, and so they just they had to get rid of it, and it was huge. But so, I mean, like, I'm trying to look at, is this like a little, like how big is this vehicle here? Maybe it's smaller than I think it is. Maybe it's like a little cat, little bobcat loader thing, and maybe that's why the snake looks so large, because this is actually tinier than I think. Because you want to look at this and think that this is like a 40-foot snake here, right? But there's not a lot to give the exact size of this equipment. But you can see the snake goes all the way down to here, and then its head is coming back up, so it's even longer than from here to here to here to here. So people are saying this is a reticulated python. That's what all the people who know stuff are all agreeing, it's reticulated, and those are the biggest snakes. And the biggest one I was able to find in the history books was about 25-ish feet long. And so some people are saying, well, if this is a big piece of equipment, this thing is going to be like 40 feet long, this snake, right? So it's just a very interesting video because it can be valid for like any timeline on the size of these snakes, because you can just say that's a bigger or smaller vehicle. You can't really tell what kind of vehicle it is. So I just put it up there because I'm like, this is a effing huge snake or what? I don't know. So you see it's moving, it's slithering around. It looks like a normal behavior of a snake. I think this back half has already been damaged because it is not moving. But what are we doing with the snakes? Are they going to be that big? Or is it just kind of an illusion and they're not? I'm not sure on that one. Alright, so another story about ability to control pregnancies. Apparently the story now is that female rodents will terminate their pregnancies following exposure to the scent of an unfamiliar male rat. The effect was first noted in 1959, has primarily been studied in laboratory mice, but it's all rodents, and there's a lot of rodents, so like capybaras, what about those? So we used to have rats, and we would breed them as a pets rats, not like the kind you don't want. And they were nice pets, and I never heard of this, and we never had any problems with any terminated pregnancies due to having bought a new rat from the store or anything. We kept a lot of them kind of in separate cages, but... So it kind of follows the pattern that we've been seeing, that there's just like more control now. I'm sure that way bigger snakes are going to be found and verified. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, it seemed like the top ones were really close. Like, oh, okay, this one was 24 foot and 5 inches, and then the runner-up was 24 foot and 4 inches, and then so they all clustered real tight there, and none of them made the jump. So I don't know. Oops. I always do this. I deleted. I'm supposed to backspace on that one and get back to the old Reddit, but I didn't do it. All right, here we go. This one was a pretty weird one because I'm getting so confused on the lightning now. So last time we had, okay, there's ground to cloud lightning, and it had this weird branchy effect, and then there's the regular is like cloud to ground lightning. So this is from NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They should know what they're talking about. But when you get down here, let's see, there's multiple weird things. First of all, a bunch of idiots wrote this or something. I mean, I know they're supposed to know what they're talking about, but, like, I just want to slap somebody sometimes. Okay, so weird stuff. First, just weird stuff. So the story now is that when lightning, is in contact with the ground, it spreads across the ground in like lightning patterns. So if you're on the ground, like, it can get you, but I don't know, it kind of makes it, so here's a pattern in the grass. Now it kind of makes it look like if you're standing in the right place, it won't get you, but if you're standing on one of these nodes, then you got and you'll get zapped. That kind of flies in the face of what I've seen before, because I was seeing videos the last couple of years of, say, there was like a soccer team and lightning struck the ground, and then like 2/3 of them flopped over. Like all of them near the strike flopped over. It wasn't just some of them that were sitting on the nodes and stuff. So, and I've never seen this pattern thing on a lightning strike before. So this is kind of weird to me how this is working here. But lightning strike traveled down the flag of a golf green. The bolt then branched out along the ground, leaving dead grass as an indicator of the ground event. See if I can open this more. Oh, it's not opening at all, is it? Interesting. Okay, so they used to say go under a tree, because then the lightning would hit the tree but not you, because the tree was taller than you, right? Go under the tree, but don't touch the tree, right? Now they're like, no, you don't want to do that because it spreads all across the ground and the tree will attract it. Should I lie flat? No, lying flat was once thought to be the best course of action. I don't actually remember lying flat being that great a thing, but this advice is now decades out of date. When lightning strikes the earth, it branches out along the ground. It can be fatal up to 100 feet away from the point of strike. Actually, that's like really far. I'm like, this is like 5 buildings away. Okay. These currents fan out from the strike center in a tendril pattern, so in order to minimize your chances of being struck, you have to minimize both your height and your body's contact with the Earth's surface. Okay, so you can't be high, but you can't lay on the ground because now you've... So it really does make it look like they're saying the more of you is touching the Earth, the more likely you are to hit one of these tendrils. Okay, which I've absolutely not ever heard of there being this tendril thing. All right. So if you got to minimize your height and you got to minimize your ground touching, then doesn't that mean you would crouch? So somebody goes, how do I avoid having to use the lightning crouch? Then they say, we do not recommend the crouch because it will not significantly lower your risk of being killed or injured from a nearby lightning strike. Okay, so they said don't lay on the ground and don't be high, but don't crouch because it's useless. So what are you supposed to do? Okay, what are you supposed to do? Their answer will be aware of your situation and plan ahead. Make sure you know what the forecast is. If storms are forecast, have a plan of action that you can enact quickly to reduce your chances of being struck. Well, what would this plan be? I mean, like, sometimes you're outside and the storm comes. So, like, you're supposed to know ahead and then what? I mean, like, I don't know. This is just bugging me, okay? Does lightning travel from the cloud to the ground? Okay, here's what it gets weird. Does lightning travel from the cloud to the ground or from the ground to the cloud? Now, somebody help me out here. Like, I didn't think I was that stupid, but the more I read this, the more confused I get. Now, I have been seeing that they're talking about when lightning hits, there's like this leader thing that comes down from the cloud. What is the leader thing? I don't know, but there's some magical force power stringy thing called a leader that attracts the lightning, okay? And I guess the leader hunts around. I guess, is it sentient now? I don't know. It hunts around for a path. Like, why can't it go straight? No, it hunts. Like, what is it using? Like, it does not make sense. But lately, they've been calling it a stepped leader. It's a stepped leader, and they're like little dashes. I'm like, what is a stepped leader? I don't know what. It's like magic powers, okay? The entire lightning strike employs both. Now the story is it employs both upward and downward moving forces. Okay, so they're going to bring in this leader thing. All right. However, the return stroke of lightning bolts. The return stroke? What does that even mean, the return stroke? I mean, it used to be that they'd say there's a positive and a negative charge between the clouds and the ground, and then electricity would travel, you know, because of the different. They'd say electricity would travel. That was it. But now, I guess it's this. There's a return stroke. A return stroke. What does that even mean? The return stroke of a lightning bolt travels from the ground into the cloud and accounts for more than 99% of the luminosity of a lightning strike. Okay, so I guess the leader is the start, and then the strike, the return stroke is the luminosity. Okay, and it gets weirder. In other words, what we see as lightning does indeed travel from the ground into the cloud. But like last week, they were saying those were unusual, special ones that went like that. And now it's like, oh, no, that's the return stroke. If lightning travels from the ground into the cloud, why do photographs show branches of lightning descending from the cloud? This is even worse. It's more confusing. In photographs, it may appear that lightning is descending from the cloud to the ground, but in reality, the return stroke is so brilliant that as it travels up the strike channel, it illuminates all of the branches of the stepped leader that did not connect with the streamer. Okay. So now I guess the story is these stepped leaders are hunting for a connection. One of them finds the connection. The lightning travels in the return stroke ground to cloud. It is so bright that all the other failed leaders also illuminate. All right, that's the story. But if you look at the photo, all these failed step leaders all look like they're touching the ground too. So how are they failed? I mean, like, is there another part to the story that even if they get to the ground, they're still failed? I don't know what the hell's going on. This is like weirder every time I look at it. So you're not seeing, like, all those branches are just failed step leaders? They're not the real lightning? All right, rubber-soled shoes won't help you. All right, then over here, remember where it said don't crouch because it won't really help you. But if you're out on the ocean and you cannot get back to land in safety, drop anchor and get as low as possible. Like, drop anchor. Why would that help you, dropping anchor? I almost feel like that'll just make it easier for the lightning to travel along the anchor. But now they're saying drop anchor. It doesn't say why. Stay inside a cabin. Okay, that makes sense. But why would you drop anchor? I don't know. This whole thing, I don't get it with the return stroke now is the story with the lightning. There's a return stroke. If anybody understands that, let me know. Lightning used to be so simple. Yep. The step leader thing's been getting me. I've been noticing that lately, and I'm like, what is that? It has to connect through circuit. So it used to be like, it would just be like the whole earth was the circuit, right? But I guess now, but what's the step leader? I don't really get what that even is. Return stroke, like the magic bullet of JFK assassin. I don't know. You can't drop anchor in a wicked violent storm. I guarantee this. That's even more funny now that you mention it. Yeah, that's right. You just got to write it. So, like, that's why I'm, like, reading this and going, this is I mean, these people are supposed to know, right? Noah? And I'm like, did some, like, 10-year-old write this? It's just, is everybody just, like, numbnuts now or something? I don't know. All right, so that makes no sense. And maybe it makes no sense because we're in the middle of a shift and it'll make sense eventually, but lightning's getting weirder and weirder. All right. We've already done fire snail. Okay. We've had a lot of these weird. I had a mantis eating a hummingbird. Here's a mantis eating a frog. Now, hummingbirds are really lightweight things. You can just imagine them weighing like a couple ounces. But frogs are beefy, juicy, fat pig type. You know, when you pick up a frog, there's a weight there. But this man is nailing this pretty darn big frog. It would seem to me like this weight of this frog would be far in excess of this mantis. And frogs are not wimpy and delicate. I mean, they're pretty beefy and strong. Yet somehow this mantis can now eat a frog, so more crazy. Mantis, man, I don't want to mess with mantis. I don't know why my throat's kind of getting itchy. All right, last thing. We've had this on before. It's the stingless bees. I could not find very many images of the stingless beehive. Every time I do find one, though, it looks like something out of Aliens, and this is no exception. So, yeah, stingless bees. This is the hive. Look at that business. So, I guess this is the little places where they grow their baby bees. But what's up with all this, like, why does it look like there's plant life, tendril, monster, brain sucker things sticking out? I mean, what's the point of all that? So, I don't know, but what's going on? I do like the idea of stingless bees. These do make honey, although it's not as much as honeybees. So, I'm all for the stingless bees. And once they start making enough honey to make it worth it, I might get me some. Scientists know as much as we do about anything. They're just paid money to make up answers. I don't know, but that's just stupid. That was just so... I mean, like, really. Don't lay flat. Don't be high, but don't crouch. Like, well, what are you supposed to do? Plan ahead. You know, like, thanks. Run screaming out of the area. I don't know. Whatever I've been thinking has been affecting reality. Will you help me with ideas? So I would definitely say, like, think of nice stuff. You know, spend time thinking of nice people being nicer, problems getting solved, that kind of stuff. Just fantasize about how awesome that would be. As much positive stuff as you can think. Your life improving, your problems getting solved, you being happier. That is a great one to really catch. I think it works. It helps everybody to just spend more time thinking about being happier. Not like imagine being happy. Don't be like thinking, oh, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. No, the reverse. You want to imagine the good part only. Not the part where you don't, like, maybe you don't think you have it or whatever. The swells were so huge when it sucked us down and flung us back on top of the crest. The bowls were stadium-sized. Yeah, guess you wouldn't want to have the anchor down, huh? It'd probably rip the ship apart. So, Joe Bloor, you know, when was that? Quite some time. I used to look up in the sky, and it just looked like a normal blue sky. And it looked far away, is how I would describe it. It looked like it was way off in the distance. And there was a day, and I was fairly young. I think I was in college. I was in LA when this happened. And I looked up, and the sky just looked different. And it looked kind of a little force field like, and it looked closer, and it looked a little, I don't know, wiggly sparkly or something, and it has been that way ever since. And I many times did look up and go, is something happened to my eyes? Why does it look different? And then over time I just, you know, kind of didn't think about it so much, but I still remember that day when I looked up and went, why does the sky look weird? I look at the world news as a movie. It's a really badly written one these days. Yeah, I feel like they're recycling a lot of the plot lines, and they're running out of material. And all right, well, I think I am done with that stuff. I think I have everything now. Mantis, hives, yeah. Yep, I caught everything. So, I think it's time for me to go. you know the drill. Think good thoughts. Imagine the world you want. Thank you so much for coming and contributing. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline.